Today we're going to talk about the most instrumentals I have ever listened to in one sitting. If you're a lover of Halloween and things that are spooky and creepy, and you like metal-y music, you've probably heard of King Diamond. And if you haven't heard of King Diamond, today you're gonna listen to King Diamond. King Diamond made his debut in what feels like the 40s, but his first album dropped in 1986. We've got mid-80s. This album is called Fatal Portrait, and it starts with the song The Candle. It is very theatrical, if you know, you know, but feels like I'm on set of a movie. A lot of these songs make me feel that way, like The Haunted Mansion, specifically, the one with Danny DeVito. Feels like I'm there. His voice, like, we're gonna talk about it a lot, cause like, hello. But his voice is just like untouchably iconic, and especially for that time as well. The song The Portrait sounded like it briefly started with Mongolian throat singing, which is one of my hidden talents. That didn't sound quite right. That didn't really land where I wanted it to. I do have to mention though, it is worth mentioning that even just 3 songs into the first album, I was already kind of getting like King Diamond fatigue. If you've ever been there, let me know. At this moment, album 1, song 3, I'm like, damn. I have so many albums left. So I do want to just say right off the bat, for this video specifically, and because of the time crunch that I've experienced due to my job, I'm really just gonna touch on the songs on each album that I either loved or hated. I'm not gonna kind of give that thorough KGT touch. We're gonna just get through these albums and then go over the rankings, and then I want you guys to tell me what you fucking think. The song Halloween is literally perfect. When it came on, it gave me that like it's fall Halloween feeling that I crave like the whole rest of the year, but it just hits different. His voice is disgusting. Currently in the best way. Does it stay amazing? Keep watching. The song Haunted is 10 out of 10. And then the album ends with The Lake, which is apparently a bonus track. They gave us a free song. This song, I don't know what it is about. It just didn't feel like quite refined, if that makes sense. But his falsetto vocals, like all the way up there, he just nails it every time. As far as their first album, Fatal Portrait, it was good overall. I really don't have a lot of negative things to say. It was just kind of like, yep, that's King Diamond. Cool. So it was good. Let's see where it lands, I guess. Let's see where it lands on my beautiful tier list down the line. But we're gonna go on to the next one. We have Abigail dropping in 1987. This album starts off with Funeral, which is an extremely cinematic introduction song that I would honestly love to experience live. It's just one of those songs, you know? The next song is called Arrival, and yes, he sounds good on pretty much every song, but there are some songs specifically where it's just like, dude, like how high up do you think his, to get those notes? I think about that a lot. The Family Ghost, I couldn't tell if I loved or hated like all the different vocals on this song. I'm kind of leaning toward loving it. I did like Omens a lot. Second to last, we have Abigail, which is the title track. And I notated here that like, I didn't really like it overall. Before I post these videos, I will kind of go over my notes with my boyfriend and tell him my thoughts. My take on this album in general, he was like shocked. He's like, huh? I don't know, bro. On Black Horseman, he hits some of the highest of all highs I've ever heard from a man, specifically from this man. As far as Abigail overall, when I first listened to it, I'm gonna keep it real, I really didn't like it. I didn't like it. I don't understand. I was like, how? Why? Like, yes, there are parts of it that are good. Listening again, it was a good album. I can say that. And no, I'm not trying to appease anyone. It's just not as bad as maybe I thought. I don't know. I do think that, of course, he sounds amazing and he sounds iconic on this album. It's just some of the songs I just was like, why? So that's how I feel about their second album. Let's go on to the third one. Them dropping in 1988, I don't know why, but like when I started this album, I just remember thinking, I have a really good feeling about this album. The album starts with Out from the Asylum, super creepy, with like a distant, very uncomfortable piano. And it had me like very stressed out. I'm listening to it and it's just dialogue with creepy music. I know he's telling a story. I'll get into that later. I know there's a story happening amongst these albums and these songs. The invisible guests on this album goes hard. It's hard. It's erect. I don't know. Bye Bye Missy was so sassy and barftastic. For A Broken Spell, I loved the guitar and the drums on this one. He sounds like he's like a whiny little brat, or like he's begging on this song. I like that a lot. Coming Home was creative, but hard to sit through as a song, just like a mystical instrumental. And the album ends with Phone Call, which again is another bonus track. Somehow, I'm sure it's probably lore building, but I don't know. Wasn't a huge fan. Overall, for them, their third album, 1988, it was very creative. That was like the biggest line I put about it. It was very creative. I felt immersed. I was into it. I saved a lot of the songs. Most of the songs, like Tea was really good. Welcome Home is amazing. There's just a few little notes where I just was like, like, what are we doing? Most of this album was great, aside from the bonus track. We didn't need the bonus track. Didn't ask for it. Their fourth album, dropping in 1989, we've got Conspiracy. Another album I was actually very excited to get to because Sleepless Nights is the love of my life. The album starts with At the Graves and it's so like carnival. It actually gave me the chills. I was expecting this song to be another instrumental, but fortunately for me specifically, it does go into a very cool song, which is what I always hope for these instrumentals. I don't want to hate on them. I want them to go somewhere amazing. They just typically don't. Then we have Sleepless Nights. I didn't need to listen to this song. No, I did not, because I listened to it 8 times a day as it is for probably the last year. But I chose to listen to it anyway, because I just love it so much. And no, I can't sleep. Ever. Kind of skipping through a list of songs, because just know I loved most of these songs. The song Let It Be Done literally jump scared me when it started, and I almost shit myself. The album ends with the song Cremation. We have an intro that made me feel like I was being watched. Chat, do you want to be cremated or buried? Comment down below. As far as Conspiracy, let me tell ya, this album rocked my socks. I literally loved this album so much. Like, I can't deny it. I didn't think I would love it as much as I did. Yes, I love Sleepless Nights, but I loved everything else as well, which is huge for me. It's just never felt more Halloween than it has listening to Conspiracy. The Eye dropping in 1990. We're in the 90s now, folks. Their 5th album, The Eye of the Witch. Another one of my go-to Halloween songs. One of the 2 songs that I knew from this guy. I do want to mention really quickly, loving this album art. I really do like this one a lot. The song Two Little Girls. It was very, very cinematic. I feel like it belongs in Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, if he played a role in that movie, it would make so much sense. Behind These Walls felt really classic to me. Like, I know this is the early 90s, but for whatever reason about him, he feels like he's in like the early 80s at all times. Like, even currently. The album ends with The Curse. I didn't really like the way this one started off, but as the song progresses, I liked it. As far as The Eye as a whole, 5th album, there were a lot of songs that I loved on this album. This one and the last one have really felt like super Halloween. Like, this is Party City. We're at Spirit Halloween. I like the diversity this album had as far as the ratio of like slow to fast song. Great album. Let me know if you like The Eye. I really liked The Eye. We have The Spider's Lullabye, 1995. Their 6th. Is it his 6th or their 6th? Is King Diamond the band or the guy? or both. This is the 6th album from King Diamond. Have I mentioned his voice sounds incredible yet?
'Cause it does.
I love Killer. The Poltergeist was okay, not a favorite. Dreams goes very hard. I liked Moonlight. I liked 6 Feet Under, even more than Moonlight. However, I truly, deeply hate the song To the Morgue. This is the last song on the Spider's Lullaby. I despise the lyrics to this and the melody to this so much more than I can even form words about. The music really wasn't bad on it. It's just the delivery of the vocals and the weird lyrics. But as far as the Spider's Lullaby, as a whole, as a creation, something about this album in particular just feels so charming. And I can't put my finger on it, but I did like this album. If we ignore To the Morgue, could even be 10 out of 10. I'm not sure what anyone else feels about this album, but I personally liked it. The 7th album, The Graveyard, dropping in 1996. I wasn't born yet when this album dropped. Starting off with The Graveyard, which is the title track, the opening song. It's another lore building song. Sounds like someone is hiding and having a manic episode in a graveyard, which is relatable to specifically me. Did I mention this album cover goes hard? I can't believe he is still doing these vocals like 10 years later, and even now. Bro is almost 70 years old, and if you look up live videos, he is literally still doing this now. He's still hitting these notes. I can't even hit these notes. I'm like 12. As far as The Graveyard, like I'm looking through the notes, I'm getting triggered seeing all these titles, like the titles of the songs. I'm sure some people love this album. You get 2 of these. I don't like it. I'm not one of those people. This album was really, really difficult to sit through. I cringed like 90 times. Just not my favorite album. However, they're still better than Ghost. These next few albums are gonna fly by, so let's keep it going. We've got Voodoo, 1998. I was born by this point. Thank you for asking. As far as Voodoo as a whole, album was okay, guys. It was just okay. I had high hopes for it. I really did, because I love the title of the album, but it just wasn't their best or my favorite. Please don't unsubscribe. Don't click that button. House of God 2000, their 9th album, another King Diamond album. Let's get into it. This album starts off with a disturbing instrumental, which is what I expected. For this album in general, as much as I weirdly hate to admit it, I actually did like it a lot. I did. The first couple songs all kind of sounded the same for the most part, but there are a few songs within that kind of break the album up a bit. A lot of these songs have not only his iconic voice, but the drums and like the beats they choose to put under his voice make it just so satisfying. I expected to not enjoy this album just because I had been listening to so much King Diamond for so long, but this album wasn't bad and I liked it. Thank God that I liked it. I liked it. Tenth album, Abigail II, The Revenge, dropping in 2002. Yes, I've listened to all of these songs, but I typically listen when I'm at work for the time being. So like, I don't really know the lore here, and it's bumming me out. Who is Abigail? And why is she seeking revenge? Are there 2 Abigails? Beats me. Anyway, we have the album Abigail II. I'm realizing these albums are very hard to just sit and listen to as like a music album back to back, if that makes sense. A lot of these songs are just very theatrical, which I get because that's kind of the point of this, but like some of them aren't even songs at all, right? And to be fair, same thing with Typo Negative, but Typo Negative's instrumentals were not like the length of a full song and it's a guy riffing a monologue in a graveyard. Like, it's just so hard to sit through in order. I like to pick and choose my King Diamond. You know what I'm saying? This was the album, Abigail II, that started my migraine. Guys, I haven't had a migraine this bad listening to a band since Metallica Saint Anger. Like, that's the level it's at. This album, it was okay, not a favorite for me. We're almost done. We have The Puppet Master, album 11, dropping in 2003. Sick ass album cover. What the fuck, King Diamond? The song, The Puppet Master, was like undeniably sick. I liked it a lot. It had a lot of charm to it, that King Diamond charm. Magic was also super rad. Remember the rant I had just now about the last album not being great and how hard it is to sit through this guy's voice in these songs? Are we back? Does the album cover have an effect on how I hear the music? Because, like, this is the sickest album art probably of all of them. Almost every song on The Puppet Master was amazing. I need to go to therapy. Darkness goes hard. Darkness might be my favorite on the album, and there were a lot of songs on this album that I really, really liked. It feels like more than half either start slow or are slow. Compared to the albums before, it wasn't this much slow moving music, I feel like, but this album was a complete turnaround for me, mentally and emotionally. It wasn't hard to listen to. It was actually delightful. 8.7 out of 10. Lastly, we have their 12th album, their most recent album, dropping in 2007. It's called Give Me Your Soul, Please. King Diamond's last studio album, dropping in 2007. So the album cover makes me feel like I'm not gonna have a good time with this. I'm not gonna enjoy it, and bro, was I right. Between 2003 and 2007, something terrible happened to this guy. The album feels even lower in quality somehow than the ones before it. I can't explain it. The songs to me just feel pretty bland again, bro. Nothing really caught my eye on this album. I feel like it feels so bad to say it because, like, he's just such a sweet guy. Do I think he's very talented? Yes. Do these songs make me feel happy or good in any way? I don't think they do. This album, in comparison to the other stuff I'd listened to, was just not it. Let's quickly move on to the KGT Awards before I lose my mind. The KGT Awards, where I will rank King Diamond's best album, his worst album, his best song, and then rank all of his albums on a tier list, starting from S tier down to F. Starting off with King Diamond's worst album. As a matter of fact, we were just talking about it. I picked Give Me Your Soul, Please, dropping in 2007. This album lost me completely. What a crappy way to end. There is hair all over me. What a crappy way to end the King Diamond video, like, with that album. I'm disappointed, but also, like, what else can we expect from a band that has been making music for as long as they have, and with that very, like, almost that niche type of voice that he's doing, right? How long can you sustain that for and still be making and creating unique, cool, listenable music that you haven't already made? Does that make sense? So it makes sense that he fell off a little bit. He's still iconic and he always will be. I just despise their most recent studio album. On to King Diamond's best song. I picked Sleepless Nights. I don't know. So this is the first song I believe that I had heard from King Diamond, and it made me become addicted. It made me want to listen more and learn more. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And it was Sleepless Nights that brought me to his music. So just from beginning to end, it has the slow, it has the fast and the heavy. He, of course, does crazy vocals. He does growls and screams. I feel like Sleepless Nights, the song, encompasses everything that King Diamond is, but like in the best, like most peak way. So best song, there you go. As far as King Diamond's best album, this one was actually easy for me. It really was. So I think that the best album is Conspiracy. Bangers after bangers after bangers after bangers after bangers. The second I finished Conspiracy, in my head I'm like, yep, that's the best one. That's the best album. And now I do love the Puppet Master as well. So that was kind of the hardest competition. I know a lot of people love Abigail, and some other albums. Just wasn't like, again, this is my specific taste and opinion. I just think Conspiracy is the best album out of all these albums listed here. I will now rank King Diamond's albums on a tier list, starting from S tier down to F. Let's get to it. Starting in S tier, we have Conspiracy and The Puppet Master. I think these albums were both like 1,000,005 out of 10. In A tier, we have Them, Into the Eye. I think these both were really, really good albums. I loved them a lot. B, we have Abigail, Into the Spider's Lullaby. I think they're slightly better than Middle Ground, but they weren't my favorite, and I don't think they were King Diamond's best albums, you know. C, we have Fatal Portrait, Voodoo, House of God. So middle ground, good albums, you know, easy to listen to. In D, we have Abigail II, The Revenge, Into the Graveyard. And then E, we have their worst album, in my opinion, Give Me Your Soul, Please. So that's the ranking that I came up with just from really listening to nothing but King Diamond. It's usually for about a day or two. This time it was like a whole ass week and a half I was listening to King Diamond. So this is what I've decided. This is what I've deduced. But I'm so very curious. I don't like, what is your guys's opinion on this? What's his best album? What's your favorite album? Like, what's his worst? Did you make it? Have you listened to all of them, or just me? I'm curious what you guys think. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Kenny Good Times. This is Kenny Ghost Times until the end of October, and this has been the King Diamond video. I feel fatigued. Like, look, I'm ready for a nap right now. Thank you guys so much for watching and being patient with me on this specific video. Every Sunday will be a new video, and every Sunday will be a new band. So I'll see you guys next Sunday, specifically for more spooky shit. Why do I always go to do this? When have I ever done this? Bye!